Right, I'm sure you've been enjoying all the amazing footage I've shown of the mod drivers on my channel lately, but the real question is, how did I go at King of the Hills? And that's what this video is about. So I'm going to start off by showing some of the footage I took on the practice day, and then I'm going to dive into how I went, my thoughts on the format, my thoughts on what I'm going to do to get better for state titles, what went well, what went wrong, look at some of the stats and the numbers, and yeah, we'll see how I go. Before I do that, let's kick off some video I took from the track on the practice day. Well, it's been a great day so far. Been here all morning. It's 2 o'clock now. Got here at 9:30. I've just racked up 206 laps on my two-wheel drive, but it was fantastic. I managed to do small changes throughout the day to get faster and faster. I got a really good best lap. It was 26.3, which is up there for stock, which I was really happy with. Even my top 5 average, everything is really good. I've ended up going from White Springs to Greens in the rear. Mucked around with my toe in the front. The toe out wasn't enough, then it was too much, but I've fixed that now. Ended up on bars. I tried whole shots and bars, but yeah, car's been great the whole time, so it's really good. Started off really hard this morning, but now it's really good, so super happy. I'm going to switch to four-wheel drive. I've got another couple of hours left, so I haven't even touched the four-wheel drive yet, so I need to do a bit of that. But my two-wheel drive, super happy. Yeah, I think I'm up to a 30 pinion. I tried a 29 and a 30. I tried different springs, but yeah, it's really good. Stoked. Having a ball. There's like heaps of people here already. Maybe there's over 50 drivers already. So it's been a pretty hectic day. It's been heaps of fun. Cracking on the four drive, and then I'll come back end of the day. Cheers. Okay, that's the end of the practice. Went well. Got the four drive in pretty good order as well. It was really loose at the back at first, but that fixed that up. And then yeah, so I'm going to head off now and try to get some sleep and come in tomorrow for the big day. Tomorrow's two-wheel drive all day, and Sunday's going to be four-wheel drive. So feeling pretty good. Yeah, who knows? There's a lot of guys around my pace that are pretty. Yeah, it's going to be tough. But we'll see how we're going. Like I said, I want to get super consistent tomorrow. Most important thing for now. We'll see how it goes. I can't wait. I'm pumped. Cool. See ya. Okay, it's been a long day, but I've had to just glue up some tyres for tomorrow and just check over the two-wheel drive. I did like 250 laps today on the two-wheel drive alone. So yeah, I've got brand new M3 whole shots on the rear, brand new four ribs on the front. Yeah, so it's good. I'm gonna go to bed and prepare for tomorrow. It's gonna be hectic. So there's 2 qualifiers, 4 minutes long, and it's your best 3 consecutive laps in each one. And then there's 5 finals. 5 finals of 6 minutes each, and I think you rotate. You have your first on the grid, then your third on the grid, or fourth, and your 7th. So it's going to be, yeah, it's top 12 in the A main. As I said, it's 48 runners, races, so it's going to be tough. I'm in with a shout if I stay consistent and put together 3 really good laps, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, preparation's been good. Glad I practiced today because I had a wire come off the motor at one stage. Yeah, I had the fan wire come off at another stage. So yeah, there's a few technical things that I'm glad I ironed them out today, and I'm good to go. Looking forward to it tomorrow. Can't wait. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, so all right, I'll be up bright and early, up at 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. to get to the track early. Drivers meetings at 8. So yeah, I might see if I can get there early enough for a bit of a practice. Otherwise, straight into it. Let's hope I do well. All right, see ya. Bye. Okay, so after all that prep, doing 250 laps on my two-wheel drive and 50 odd laps on my four-wheel drive, and really thinking about it, preparing, having a great run-in with local results before the race, I crashed and burned in the qualifying and ended up making the C main in both. It was pretty disappointing. I was really disappointed after both mornings. When I crashed with both. I ended up coming 30th. I was ranked 30th in both the two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive out of around 48 drivers. So I was 6th on the grid in the C main for both. It was pretty horrendous. A few weeks ago, I did say that I wanted to focus on consistency. And at the end of the day, that's what I did. And I'll show you some numbers of how I went. The bottom line is the format of 3 consecutive laps just didn't do well. I didn't have the pace. I was way off the pace. I was super consistent in both two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. I would have qualified in the Bs if it was the old format, but that's all doesn't mean anything because that wasn't the format for the race, and people were racing to the format and did a lot better than me. So it's in all, I've done some high-level sport when I was younger, so in everything I've ever done in my life, the worst thing is thinking you're better than you are, and the bottom line is that's as good as I was on the weekend. I was 30th best in qualifying for both. So there was a period of about an hour after the qualifying or whatever it was, I was pretty down on myself and thinking, I'm not sure, it was devastating. I mean, I didn't put too much pressure on myself, but I did feel like, I thought I've gone much better than that. There was people who were way ahead of me that I'd normally be either the same as or slightly ahead, and the truth was I wasn't there. So I managed to collect my thoughts, have a think about it, and think, well, I need to make the most out of the 2 days each day and get the most out of it. The long-term goal was the state titles, and so I did my best to go as well as I could and made changes to the car, got used to the track, and took it as good race practice. I had 10 races, 5 in each in the C mains. I ended up coming second in both of them. So even though it's a bit weird, the format. So I was 6th on the grid in the first race for each, then 4th, then 2nd, and then dropped back to something like 11th and then 9th. So I had great race practice amongst trying to get from all different areas of the grid. There was 6-minute finals, so a lot of track time. I was against people that by the end of it, you see my times, I actually was faster than most of the people in the Cs. I actually started doing B main times consistently. So that meant I was getting a lot of practice overtaking people, trying to win races. Won a couple of races, so it was really good. Like I said, I came second in both. I got 16 points, 17 points, 16 points in the two-wheel drive and 17 points in the four-wheel drive. They were very close. I want to go through some stats. So I'll do that right now. And then I'll talk about the stats for each one, what it means, and then after that I'll talk about what I'm going to do for the state titles. The first graph I want to bring up is consistency. So I remember a few weeks ago on a video I said on my channel that I wanted to get 95% consistency. Happy to say that I managed to do that. You can see here the blue is my two-wheel drive and the four-wheel drive is red. Across the 7 races, so this includes the 2 qualifying. So I was super consistent, in the qualifying, but obviously I just wasn't fast enough with 3 consecutive laps. In the second four-wheel drive one, the 92% one, I actually switched to the mode of trying to get 3 consecutive laps instead of just going round. And every time my third lap I crashed or smashed into someone, or once I got someone marshalled another car and put it in front of mine, and it just didn't work, so it was a disaster. But as you can see, on average, across all 7 races for both, I was 95.0 something for two-wheel drive and 95.7 for four-wheel drive. So that's super consistent. I actually showed decent pace towards the end as well. So I think leading into state titles, I'm just going to get back to that. State titles has got a lot of, I think it's 4 qualifying, and it's all traditional qualifying. So this is really my bread and butter, which I should do a lot better. So that was good. So consistency, tick in the box. Go happy with that. Even though I was disappointed,
I managed to keep consistent, and that was good. So, and this is also includes starting at the back of the grid for some of these races, right? So across the races, I started 2nd, 4th, 6th, 9th, and 11th for both. So yeah, so that was good. That was really good. So that was that one. Race pace is how many laps I was doing. So in two-wheel drive, I was just under 13 and a half. It's the blue. I got close to 14.1. I had a really fast race in the middle. Four-wheel drive was super good. My pace was really good. I was nudging 15 laps consistently across the board. To give you an idea, the A mains, not all of them, but most of them do 15 laps in the four-wheel drive. Most do 14 laps in the two-wheel drive. That's the A mains. But all these times are pretty much in the B main time across the board. And if you look at that, this next one is overall rank. So this is where I rank. So obviously the lower the better. So you can see that for two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, they're both really good. I was in top 20 pretty much most of the time. My average for two-wheel drive was 20.8 and my average for four-wheel drive was 18.6. So that's middle of the B mains, pretty much my race pace. Now, I know that you can't always do this because it's different races and I'm racing slower people theoretically in the C main, but it's still, my car is making this pace at a good consistency. So for me, if I can replicate that again for the state titles, then theoretically I should be making the B mains, which would be fine for me, my first ever state titles if I could do that. So I think it's just important to... I made some adjustments to the car. Now, the last two races 4 and 5, for both cars, I was 11th and 9th on the grid. So it's a lot more difficult to get through the traffic and get a good pace. So that's why those four were slower. In the four-wheel drive, I was just on song. I felt super good in the four-wheel drive. I was super happy. The two-wheel drive, I was still good, but I struggled a bit more with the pace to take over the cars. Now, the thing is, I'm going to have a brand new car for the two-wheel drive. So my 6.3 is coming this week. So I will build it in time for state titles. So I don't know that one. That form book's out the window. The good news is my four-wheel drive, which I'm sticking with, I'm going to use the same car for the state titles. And I've got a couple of adjustments I'm making, but I'm really happy with that. So, yeah, I mean, overall, it wasn't as good as I'd hoped. I still come out of it with a lot of a great experience. I was really happy with my consistency. My pace was decent. Just my qualifying was rubbish. And I'm not going to say anything. I mean, the format was super fun, right? Like, super fun. And the bottom line is that the top guys were at the top. So in the A main, there was pretty much no surprises. There was just odd people like me that went a lot worse than they normally do. There were other people who were similar, but we just didn't do well on the format. It doesn't mean the format's bad. I thought the format was great. If it was on again, I'd definitely give it a go. I loved the 5 finals with 6-minute heats. It was super cool. The rotating grid was super fun. I'm not fast enough over 3 laps, or I wasn't on that day. There were other areas in the races where I went really well, obviously, as you can see. But yeah, it is what it is. So I think now I look forward to the state titles. I've got a practice meet in a week's time, next Sunday, at Castle Hill. So I don't think my 6.3 is going to be ready. So I'll be using my old car for that one, but I'll just be learning and just get as much practice as I can. The 4 drive, I'm super keen because that's going to be the one I'm using for state titles. So I'm going to try some changes and test them out next week, and we'll see how we go. After coming C main in the last race for both, I've got no expectations. I'm going to do the best I can and see what I come out with. No pressure, and try to get good prep for state titles. So yeah, that was it. So I really like stats, and I wanted to do my best to just have a look at all the numbers. I do that a lot with my races, and I'm not taking too much from it. The bottom line is, in the end, I came second in the both C mains, so I was ranked 26th in both overall out of 48. So, yep, that's not where I want to be, but I did the most I could after a poor qualifying. So I can't wait for this Sunday. Can't wait for my car to arrive. I've still got heaps of mod videos to bring out. So I'll be doing that this week as well. Try to get them all out before states, because states I'm going to have a whole stack of footage from that. And hopefully, if I make a higher than C main, I'll show a lot of my races as well. So we'll see how we go. This is my car, my two-wheel drive car. It's a good shot. It's about to be retired, or I might start using it as a 540, run it in the 540 class. But yeah, it's going to be replaced. But yeah, it's a great photo. Thanks to Chad for taking it and posting it. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you guys soon, and have a good week. Peace.